Oh, hi there. Welcome back. Well, I'm going to talk about what I've been reading in the last couple of weeks. Last time I was working my way through The Shining by Stephen King, and I finished it. It was a good ending. I liked that it was predictable. I knew there was going to be some sort of gruesome murder at the end, but how was it going to happen? There was a lot of foreshadowing, a lot of suggestions, and it turned out, well, spoiler, I'm sure you know this, but it's the hotel was magical in a bad way, and it made the guy go crazy, and they tried to kill everyone. Anyway, it all exploded and blew up, and a lot of them died. Anyway, it was great. It was a good ending. I like Stephen King's writing. He's just like gets the story going and just goes with it. Then I took a trip to the library, and I got a book called To Feed A Dictator. And it's all about the cooks of a bunch of dictators like Saddam Hussein, Fidel Castro, Pol Pot. So it was a good book. It was really interesting to hear the views of the cooks of these, despicable people that killed millions of people, because they had a different relationship with their cook. So people can poison you, right? So you really need to trust your cook. So it turns out all the cooks were really big fans of their dictators. They were usually started out the beginning of their revolution and were friends with them, and then became cooks or had some cooking experience, and then just kind of took on the role as cook. And they all thought that the dictators were great people, typically. They had a few stories where, they were a little off the deep end, and like Saddam Hussein would get in a bad mood and he would make the cook pay for the food because it would be terrible. And then the next day he would be happy with the food and he would give him the money back with a little bonus. And like Pol Pot, the leader of the Khmer Rouge, who killed millions and millions of people from starvation, he ate fine. And he was very grateful for his cook. Every day he would say, thanks, you make great stuff, even if it was just a bowl of rice or whatever it was. It was interesting. And the really weird thing I found was that most of these dictators ended up being vegetarians or very close to vegetarians. They would still eat fish, but like red meat and stuff. Like they just seem to like vegetables and vegetable dishes and soups. Yeah, that seemed to be what they ate, and a lot of them didn't eat a lot. And anyway, it was just really interesting to hear like behind the scenes kind of how these, because you see these dictators on like the news, and they're like doing speeches and starting wars and all this stuff, and then you hear about them behind the scenes where they're just sitting around eating barbecue burgers or whatever. It was really interesting. And I'm working my way through another Louis L'Amour, La Californias. This one's very similar to almost all the other ones. However, this one starts out there on a boat. And Louis L'Amour was actually like a mariner. He worked for the Merchant Marine, so he knows a little bit about how boats work and freighters and stuff like that. So there was a little interesting part in the beginning where the captain of this boat a girl just jumps on his boat and they go for a ride. And anyway, he's saving her because of course she's in trouble, and that's what always happens. There's the great guy who saves the girl. Anyway, they're I haven't made my way through it yet, but they're going through the desert in California. So, and there's some people chasing them. So, a typical Louis L'Amour book. And the other book I'm almost done now, Unseen Academicals by Terry Pratchett. If you read Terry Pratchett, it's a Discworld book, so you know all about the crazy Discworld and the wizards and the Wizard University. Anyway, highlight of this book so far. It was $1 at the Bible's Permission, but it was 90% off, orange tag, so I got this for 10 cents. Yes! So in this book, the wizards have to form a football team, and I haven't made it all the way through, but there's a new character. He's like a little goblin, and there's something to do with him, and he's going to cause some sort of problem. But it hasn't been revealed to me yet, so I'll let you know what happens. But of course, it's always Terry Pratchett's very funny, so it's just a funny read. Anyway, that's what I've been up to in the last couple weeks. So I'll try and put up something else in a couple weeks, let you know how what else I'm up to and how this one ends up. Anyway, thanks for watching.